Welcome to Economics Trainer. This video was made to help you strengthen your skills in microeconomics. Here we have a sample question, care of brighttutoring.ca. It's the kind of question you'd expect to see on a test in a second-year microeconomics class. Let's work through it together. So here's the question. Consider two firms engaged in a Cournot duopoly, where each firm has identical marginal cost of 40 per unit. They face a market demand curve where market price P equals 100 times 2 times the total market quantity. Now what we have to figure out is the consumer, producer, and total surplus in the Cournot equilibrium. And then once we have that equilibrium, we also have to figure out the deadweight loss. So let's start off by finding the Cournot equilibrium and figuring it out from the market demand curve here. So here we have the market demand curve. P equals 100 minus the market quantity demanded. And then we know the market quantity QM is equal to the sum of both firms because we have duopoly. So here we can take that and plug that in. And we have price equals 100 minus 2 Q1 minus 2 Q2. So that's basically deaggregating the demand curve. And now we can do that to figure out each firm's problem. So for firm 1, they want to set marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. They have the same marginal cost of 40. And then on the left-hand side here for marginal revenue, we can do the trick with the linear demand curve. It's just double the slope of that quantity. So here we're going to double the slope for Q1, but not Q2. So we have 100 minus 4Q1 minus 2Q2. And then here we just have to solve for Q1. So if you move it over, we'll have 4Q1 on the right. And then subtract the 40 from each side. We'll have 60 left over. And minus 2Q2. So if we divide each side by 4, we get 15 minus a half Q2 is equal to Q1. And that there is going to be the best response for firm 1. And now we can do the same thing for firm 2. So here we have marginal revenue of 2 equals marginal cost of 2. And a lot of stuff will be similar here. So the marginal cost is the same. It's 40. And the marginal revenue for firm 2, we just have to double their slope instead of for firm 1. So we're going to have 100 minus 2Q1 and then minus 4Q2 here for the doubling. So we get 60 minus 2Q1 is 4Q2. So you can see it's very similar to the other equation here. So you're going to get 15 minus a half Q1 is going to be equal to Q2. So this here is going to be the best response function for firm 2. So now that we have both these strategies or best response functions, we can see how they react to each other. We say, okay, well, if Q1 is equal to 15 minus a half of Q2, and then we know Q2 is 15 minus a half of Q1, we can find the equilibrium here. We cross the strategies here. So here we have 15 minus half of 15. What's half of 15? And then negative a half times negative a half, that'll be positive a quarter Q1. And if we can move the Q1 over to this side, we get 3/4 Q1 is 15 over 2. So let's just move the numbers to the other side. So we get Q1 is 15 over 2 times, this flips up to the other side, 4 over 3. So let's see here, we can interact these numbers. 4 divided by 2 is just 2. And then 15 divided by 3, that's 5. So we just have 5 times 2, so Q1 star is going to be 10. And then if we go back up to the firm 2's best response here, we say, okay, well, if we know Q1, we can figure out Q2, because Q2 is going to be 15 minus half of Q1, which is 10. So we're going to say, okay, well, Q2 star, half of 10 is 5, so it's also going to be 10. So now if we know both of these quantities for each firm, so we can say, okay, now we know the market quantity, the big Q, M, on the market is going to be 20. And now we know the market quantity, we can figure out the market price by going back into the demand curve and saying, okay, with the demand curve, back up here was 100 minus 2 times the market quantity. So P is 100 minus 2 times 20. So the market equilibrium P star, let's see, that's going to be 40. So 100 minus 40 is 60. So now that we have the Cournot equilibrium, you can use that to answer the questions and find all the surpluses and the deadweight loss. If we draw out the graph here, so we have the market quantity here, and we have the market price here. And then we know the demand curve starts at 100. And then we have marginal cost. That's flat at 40. And then what happened here is we know the price and market quantity. See, the price was 60. So that's going to be somewhere here. And the quantity, when it goes across, we know this is going to be 20. This is on the market here. So there's your equilibrium price and quantity. And then once we have that, we can figure out your producer and surplus, consumer surplus. You can see, okay, the consumer is up here. This is going to be your consumer surplus. Down in here, we have your producer surplus. And then over here, in this triangle here, we're going to have the deadweight loss. So let's see here. So to start off with consumer surplus, we have a triangle here, so it's going to be base times height divided by 2. So let's see, for the base going from here to here, that's going from 0 to 20, so that's 20. And the height is going from here to here, so that gap there is 100 to 60, so it'll be 40. And then divide by 2. So see, that 2 will cancel with that 2, and it'll just be 400. So that's going to be that area there. And then for producer surplus here, let's see, we have a box here. That's going to be width times length. So let's see here. We can figure out the width. Going from here to here, that's 20. And the length, or the height of the box here is here to here, which is 60 to 40, which is also 20. So the producer surplus is going to be 400. Then for the deadweight loss here, see, we have to figure out this triangle here to here to here. So we're going to need this point out here. So let's find this point here first of all. We can say, okay, that's where marginal cost of 40 hits the demand curve. So if we plug 40 for price into the demand curve, which is 100 minus 2Q, let's see, what do we get here? 2Q is 60. So this spot here, Q hat, is going to be 30. And then now we can use that to figure out the base and the height of the triangle here for deadweight loss. So base times height divided by 2. So let's see. So for the base, it's going from 30 to 20, so that's 10. And then the height we have from 40 to 60, which is 20, and then divided by 2. So the 2's will cancel, so we get 100 for the deadweight loss. So let's see here, going back. So for the consumer producer surplus, they were 400 each. That gave us a total surplus. Add those up, you get 800. And then the deadweight loss was 100. And that's how you complete that question. This video is brought to you by people who like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You can also support my work by buying me a coffee.